Terror has a frequency. Most people imagine fear as a feeling, a sudden rush of panic, a pounding heart, a cold sweat creeping across the skin. But what if fear is something more? What if it is a signal, a vibration, a wavelength that can be tuned into under the right conditions? Inside the cursed house, at the center of this investigation, terror seemed to operate exactly that way. Every hallway hummed with invisible tension. Every room felt charged with a presence that refused to leave. Those who entered expecting ghosts soon discovered something far worse. They found a place where reality itself appeared damaged. A place where the boundary between life and death had become dangerously thin. I am Phantom Detective, and we are continuing our descent into the archives of the 92 ghosts. We have already crossed the threshold of ordinary hauntings. We have witnessed apparitions, heard impossible voices, and encountered entities that should not exist. But tonight, we venture deeper. Tonight, we move beyond simple ghost stories and into a realm where logic collapses. The beings you are about to encounter do not behave like spirits from folklore. They do not seek revenge. They do not deliver messages from beyond. Instead, they appear trapped within fragments of their own final moments, replaying memories so powerful that they have reshaped their very existence. These are the stories of the smiling man, the dog, and Leks, and each one raises a terrifying possibility. What if death does not set us free? What if it only traps us inside our last nightmare? The smiling man. One night at around 2 a.m., a young man was walking home through nearly empty streets after visiting a friend. The city was silent. No cars, no pedestrians, nothing unusual, until he noticed a figure standing beneath a distant streetlight. At first, it looked like someone dancing, but as he got closer, he realized something was wrong. The man's movements were strange, unnatural, almost like a puppet being controlled by invisible strings. Then he saw the face. The stranger was smiling, not a normal smile. An impossibly wide grin stretched across his face. A smile that never changed, never blinked, never faded. The witness felt an immediate sense of dread. As they drew closer, the dancing man suddenly stopped and slowly turned towards him. The smile remained. The stranger stared directly at him. Neither spoke, neither moved. For several terrifying seconds, the empty street became completely silent. Then the smiling man began moving closer, still grinning, still staring. His strange dance-like movements became faster, more aggressive. The witness's fear exploded into panic. He turned and hurried away. But when he looked back, the smiling man was following him, closing the distance, still wearing the same impossible smile. The witness finally ran, heart pounding, desperate to get away. After reaching a safe distance, he gathered enough courage to look behind him one final time. The street was empty. The smiling man had vanished. No footsteps, no trace, no explanation. Years later, the dog. The next entity inspired raw terror. It announced its presence through sound. Late during one of the investigation sessions, participants began hearing a familiar noise. Click, click, click. The unmistakable sound of claws striking wooden floorboards. At first, nobody panicked. The dogs seemed harmless compared to many of the other entities documented within the house. The sounds moved slowly through the darkness. Closer, closer, closer. Each step echoed through the rooms like a countdown. But then the creature entered the light, and every assumption shattered instantly. What emerged was not a dog, as anyone who understood the word. Witnesses described a towering figure, standing nearly 2 meters tall. His body possessed canine characteristics, yet his movements felt deeply wrong. Leks. Among all the documented entities, none generated more confusion than the one known only as Leks. Unlike other apparitions, Leks never appeared fully. For months, investigators searched relentlessly. They followed unexplained cold spots. They tracked strange disturbances. They monitored rooms where witnesses reported sudden feelings of dread. Again and again, evidence suggested something wasn't there, yet nobody could see it. Then came the photographs. The team captured over 200 images. They adjusted angles. They changed locations. They experimented with different cameras and settings. The results should have varied. Instead, they revealed something impossible. Every successful image showed the same thing: a pair of legs, nothing else. No torso, no arms, no head, just legs, standing silently within the frame, as though the rest of the entity existed somewhere beyond visibility. The phenomenon became one of the greatest mysteries in the archive. Why only legs? Why not a face? Why not a shadow? Why this specific fragment of a human form? Some investigators believed Leks was trapped inside a broken memory. Others believed the entity existed partially outside our reality. The evidence remains raw, cold, and deeply unsettling. Each new layer of the archive reveals a reality more disturbing than the last. The young man continues his endless escape. The dog remains frozen between animal and human. Leks persists as an impossible fragment trapped between visibility and oblivion. Together, they suggest a terrifying possibility. The entities haunting this house are not merely ghosts. They are echoes of unfinished moments, fragments of tragedies that continue repeating long after death should have brought peace. And if that is true, then the house contains far more than 92 spirits. It contains 92 unanswered questions. Questions buried beneath decades of fear, loss, and impossible events. We have only begun uncovering the truth. The deeper we dig, the darker the archive becomes. The house still guards its secrets, and the next phase of this investigation may reveal horrors that make everything we've seen so far seem insignificant. Are you ready to continue? I am Phantom Detective, and this is the darkest secret.